Okay, so here we go. We're still alive, though. Cool. All right, hey, everybody. Jake here from Made for the Range, back on the Made for the Range YouTube with another podcast. Or you might be listening to this on Spotify or whatever other platforms I've been able to get this on since then. I think it's everything but Apple Music, unfortunately. Or Apple Podcasts, whatever they call it. I'm with how do you say your last name?
How do you think you say my last name?
I always say Tessa Tsunami. Is it but it's Sumagui?
Sumagui.
So there's no N there in the middle that I'm putting in there.
No, but I say my TikTok is Tessa Tsunami. Well, because I did not take that seriously at first, but
that's why I call you that. Okay, it makes sense now.
I used to have people in high school call me Tsunami because it sounds like my last name, which is
close.
Sumagui.
Sumagui.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm here with Tessa Sumagui, who is somebody I've been following you for a long time in golf, and originally it was because you yourself, and you and I have talked about this, we'll get into it, but you yourself are not an influencer per se. You are a content producer, a videographer, a photographer, a creative, there's lots of words
Tell
there.
me more.
And I loved that because that was what I did for a long time, and I still consider myself that. The being an influencer part, and because I've put my face on all my stuff, is getting larger. I really hated that my badge at PGA show said social media influencer.
Ew.
Hated that.
Mine said owner.
Yeah, well, because you were an exhibitor. But yeah, speaking of, that's actually a great representation of what you can do. Thank you. Uneekor stuff. So if you look at Uneekor's page, this is going to be a month later after we're filming this, that you guys are listening to this. Yeah. But if you look at Uneekor's page and you go back to PGA show, and there's really cool hype reel stuff that was all done by Tessa, and it's sick. And that's stuff that I suck at. The stuff that you do is the stuff that I'm so bad at. I can't do.
Well, this is cool. This is kind of a production, though.
But this is talking.
Yeah.
I can set up a camera and talk.
That's great.
Yeah.
So we have our strengths and weaknesses here. I can't. I'm surprised I'm not. I'm verbal right now.
Okay, so I will let you take a second to introduce yourself. If that was a bad one, you can negate everything I just
honestly,
said.
I don't even. Okay, well, I'm Tessa, POV.
I didn't say your actual handle yet.
No, yeah, it's great. No, but
hold on, you need to fix your couch cushion, otherwise you're gonna hate me later.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, you're gonna hate me later if
I'm
it
gonna
stays
hate myself.
There we go.
I clearly
too far.
What?
Back the other way. Good,
Should
got
I
it.
Just scoot up.
There it is. No, you're good. Okay.
How's that?
Perfect. You were gonna hate me later if all these clips had your couch cushion tilted in the background.
Was it tilted this whole time, or did it just happen?
It just happened 2 minutes ago. We're good. We're solid.
Hi, I'm Tessa.
Don't worry, the intro is not going to be our clip on social media.
This couch aesthetics.
Okay, so you're introducing yourself. Tessa POV.
Hi guys, I'm Tessa. Thanks for having me today. This is the first time I've ever been on a podcast. I might hate it. I'm sorry.
This is the first time?
Ever. I've been asked.
I feel so special.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I've been asked, and because I'm really camera shy, and I don't like hearing myself talk like you.
Yeah. I don't, just because I do it doesn't mean I like it. Afterwards.
Yeah.
I like doing it, but I'll watch this back and I'll have to edit this and I'll be like, oh, this is, I don't want to keep listening to myself for hours.
You already pretty much said what I do, so I don't really, I wear a lot of hats. I own a lot of hats.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we can talk about how you get started, but real quick, can you explain to people where we're sitting? Because this is kind of your domain.
All right, we're here today at West Loop Golf Club. And honestly, oh my gosh, this is...
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Is it going to be bad?
No.
I told you it's my first time.
No, that's the beauty of these is it doesn't... Even if you do stuff, it doesn't pick it up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, that's why I drag these things around.
This would be... If I was a dude, I would call this place the man cave of my dreams. It's got hitting bays. It's BYOB. I actually had my birthday party here.
Your espresso martini birthday party?
Yes. Yeah. And I had an espresso martini themed birthday party, and the guys let me have a small get together here because not all my friends back home here in Chicago golf, so it was a good medium.
Yeah, and this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 TrackMan bays, including that
9.
one.
Oh, you counted
9?
that one? Oh, 8.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh.
I think it's 7. I don't know.
It's
There's
7.
a lot.
There's a gym. There's lockers, a kitchen, all
Workspaces.
of
Like you can just come here and sit in one of the. There's a couple empty offices back there. The kitchen counter would be a great place to just sit on a laptop for a while.
Yeah.
As I went to get Tessa water, there's just stuff chilling in the fridge, which is somebody else's that they brought for themselves.
It's a great spot.
Everything's TrackMan IO, which is cool because it's all ceiling mounted, so there's no devices on the floor, which is sweet. And our buddy Rati does lessons here, including your lessons.
Yeah.
Which let's I want to talk about that real quick. You're on an official series with Rati about getting better.
Yeah, I texted him and I was like, listen, we got some work to do. I was like, and I asked him, I was like, do you want to start a series called like Suck Less at Golf? And he's like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
And
That's a very Rati answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
so the goal is to literally suck less because I need to, because here it's hard to like practice outside. And to be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of simulator golf because I
don't like it.
the feel of being out there. But it's nice when you can see your numbers for sure.
Yeah, as long as you
see the progress.
Yes, as long as somebody like Rati is telling you what those numbers mean
Yeah.
and why they're going one way or the other, which is nice
Exactly.
because this can get overwhelming for people that don't understand those numbers and they try to pull up like there's a screen behind you back there that has there's 12 numbers on that screen right now, and most people
I love when
would
people can
fixate on
explain
that.
numbers to me
Yeah.
because I'm not a numbers girl at all, but
Well, and we're gonna do some stuff like that too.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. I've got
because you're like a number nerd.
fitting. Yeah, it's all see. That's the beauty of like Rati, is Rati will help you fix those numbers by changing your swing, but there's a certain set of numbers on that screen that he can't change, but I can.
Yeah.
And that's the balance of it. It's like because that's a big question, right? It's like should you go get lessons first or should you get fit first? Well, like
Have a lesson.
if you asked me that, I would tell you to stick with your lessons because you've committed to it.
Yeah.
But I have 60-year-old guys at my club who've been playing golf for 35 years. They're not going to change their swing.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, if you want to play better, then go get better clubs.
That's true.
But
I guess it depends on where you are in your golf
100%.
level, right?
Yeah, there is no one answer to that question because there's plenty of people that can't invest the time or money into lessons.
Yeah.
So you might as well buy better golf clubs. But there is a point to which it's like, okay, well, I can't really give you better golf clubs, especially if
The
you
clubs aren't going to fix your swing.
and if you've already you've already committed to lessons too, it's like, well, I want you to be whatever your swing is going to be.
Yeah.
Is what I want you to get fit for clubs into. Now, if something is happening in your lessons where your coach says, "Hey, what we're doing is being held back by your golf clubs," then it's okay to like maybe go get a new driver or like a new lob wedge during the middle of lessons just to make sure that you're not inhibiting one thing or the other.
I will say, when I changed to proper irons, because I was using Tisha's, like she handed me down her old clubs and like she was on the mini circuit, like a pro. Like her shafts were too
stiff. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. I just every time words like that come out of my mouth.
You gotta.
I need to grow up.
You can ask Georgia from True Temper. She's their social media girl. She just shaft jokes are the funniest thing. Yeah. And you just gotta roll with it.
All golf.
Yeah. And,
put it in a hole.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Smash factor.
Yeah.
Hit it harder.
And when people don't know it, like they're like, funnier. Excuse me. I'm like, yeah. That's where my mind goes. Anyway.
Well, that was like your reel that we just looked at from last night during the game.
I am who I am.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I learned golf on like very heavy clubs and irons. And at first she's like, maybe don't go down because like you're already hitting it, well. But I'm like, if I get lighter clubs, I'll probably hit it farther.
Yeah.
And lo and behold.
Yeah.
10, 15 yards more.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Especially with, like, I saw what's in your bag, and I know what's compared to Tish's bag.
Yeah.
And it's a big difference between what you and Tish would have.
Oh, absolutely.
I actually think there's a couple other adjustments I would like to make, but we'll get there. We'll do that one day.
We should do a series, Roast My Bag.
No, it's not bad.
Roast what's in the bag.
It's not bad. I would definitely, the driver, we're going to make some tweaks for sure. But I think the irons are in a good place,
the
actually.
Masters edition that they sent me.
Yeah, but
Cobra.
that doesn't mean it.
But it's beautiful. It's cute.
It doesn't mean it works though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
We'll
It can be cute and not functional.
My golf
We're going
game
for function
is
though.
for aesthetics.
Yeah, we're gonna go for function. Okay, so talk to us a little bit about how you got started, just with a camera in your hands for the first time.
I think I came out of my mother with a camera.
Okay.
Just head out and was like, let's take pictures. No, but I mean, it felt that way. I was 7 years old, really, when I picked up a camera. My dad was really into photography.
Okay.
And then I would always just take the family video camera and whatever we had, and I'd be the one to take the photos of my parents. And actually, there's an old family video of me. You can, I can send it to you if you want, but I'm like in this little cardigan and taking photos of my parents, and I was probably like 8. And it's actually one of my favorite videos to show that, like, yeah, I've really loved this for so long. And then throughout, like, in middle school, I had those little, what they call vintage cameras now.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's crazy. I would go and ride my bike around the block with my friends, take videos, and then go on Windows Movie Maker and make vlogs.
Oh, yeah.
I still have them.
Yeah.
They're criminal, but yeah.
Did you ever go through the pirating stage of video production software?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, me
And
too.
when my dad found out.
Did you have Sony Vegas?
Yes, but when my dad found out, like,
We all
he
did.
literally was like, "You're gonna go to jail." I'm like,
Yeah. We got
he deleted it off my computer.
We got a letter from, like, Comcast or whatever one month that was like, hey, you've visited these 5 websites. We're going to shut your internet service off if we see it happen again. And I was like, well, it was me. I was like, it was my sister, clearly.
No,
I don't know what she's downloading, but it wasn't me. It wasn't me with thousands and thousands of dollars of illegal software on my computer.
Yeah.
Nope, couldn't be me.
And when I got, like, Photoshop illegally downloaded, all
100%,
the things.
Like CS3 or CS4 at the time, probably. Yep, same here. That was the life.
And then my dad was like, he worked in tech and IT, so, like, he literally was like, when he found out I had all that on my computer, he took it all off and he said,
Yeah, so that's a
yeah, we're not going to get arrested here.
Understandable.
Dramatic.
Understandable. A little dramatic, but understandable. Yeah. Adobe, I'm fully paying for my Creative Cloud license now. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's a business
We're
expense.
legal now. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Done. Right off. No more taxes. So you've had a camera with your whole life, but you did not go to school for camera things, which I didn't either. So talk to us a little about that. What were you going to school for? What were you starting to do?
I went to school to be in the medical field.
Okay.
Because it was forced upon me for being, and you're Filipino.
Sure.
Shout out to my Filipinos. But that life was kind of like, my parents were like, well, if we're going to pay and support you through school, not that they ever forced it, but it was just, nothing else was ever encouraged.
Yeah, it's just kind of what you thought you were going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did pre-med, or not pre-med, I was graduated exercise science, was working in the medical field, and then, but still doing, like, creative stuff on the side. And then from then on, I was like, eventually I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I was always into sports, so I did work within the sports for medical field.
Sure.
And then I was like, how do I incorporate, like, what I love and sports? And then golf happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that transition then from working in sports through, were you doing, like, PT stuff or, like, athletic trainer stuff?
Yeah.
Were you were
With
working with sports teams or working with, like, injuries?
More injuries.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we had a few. So I was working over at the United Center Athletico.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And so occasionally we would have some of the players or athletes. Like, I'll never forget, like, NBA, like, All-Star Week when it was here.
Sure.
Right before the shutdown, there's so many athletes that
Yeah.
came through that weekend and that week, and I got to meet a few of them and work with a few of them. So
That's my favorite place in Chicago is United Center.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's the only place you go.
Pretty much.
For the Blackhawks.
Well, that's true. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, yeah, you saw me. That was
We
like
went.
that was the first time we, like, had officially met in person. We went to a Blackhawks game.
Yeah.
And I do not hide my Blackhawks nerdness the entire
No.
time at United Center. It's full out there. I don't
It's
care.
adorable.
Yeah, it's out there. I don't care. It's the best national
okay.
anthem in sports. It's not even close.
Yeah.
I will die on that hill.
Okay.
I don't care. The Jim Cornelison national anthem is the best national anthem.
No,
in sports.
I agree.
Yeah, it was amazing.
You did teach that.
I was worried I overhyped it, but then I realized you can't. So
it was
didn't,
great.
Yeah, it was. It's
and
phenomenal.
then the day that he dies.
Oh, it'll be. I don't know what
Like,
we're just. I think they're just gonna have to play a recording.
Yeah.
I don't think. No,
You're right.
there's not gonna be it can't be.
Everyone's replaceable.
It's like Jeter
Chester,
walking up to the plate with a
Linkin
recording
Park.
of the old announcer instead of the new guy. Like when
That's
that guy
true.
died, Derek Jeter refused to have anybody announce his name, so he walked up to the plate with a recording. Amazing.
I don't know. Yeah, people might riot.
We should.
Yeah.
The United Center could use a good, burning down, rebuild. It'd be great. It's a
No,
little
they
old.
just revamped that.
little
Do you see
old.
that Jumbotron?
Yeah, but they
I
and they
knew-
also did the atrium or whatever you call
Yeah.
it around Michael's statue, so it's inside now, not outside. Yeah, but like, have you been to Pfizer Forum? Have you been to the Bucks place?
No.
Oh, it's beautiful. That is
But
everything
I
the
will
United Center
say-
should be.
And shout out, I'm not just saying this because I'm biased, but because my friend used to be the director of entertainment for the Bulls. But the Bulls have won so many, is it Grammys? Or awards for being the best entertainment for halftime.
I thought I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about championships. You were calling them Grammys.
Oh,
That's on me. That's
I'm
my
talking
bad. Yeah,
about
yeah.
entertainment.
No, you're talking about entertainment. Awards. Yeah. Oh yeah. The Bulls
No,
game is amazing.
Have you been to other games
Yeah.
the Lakers? It's so boring halftime. No one entertains harder than
That's how I
that
feel.
Stadium.
That's how I feel about hockey. The only one I've been told is just an absolute hell of a show is Las Vegas. The Golden Knights apparently put on a hell of a hockey game.
Oh, hockey.
Yeah.
We're talking about two different sports here.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like my comparison
Okay.
would be to
Yeah.
Blackhawks. Your
Yeah.
comparison is Bulls games
That's
to
true.
Lakers games or whatever. I don't watch basketball ever.
I don't really unless it's the fourth quarter
Yeah.
or playoffs, if that.
We watch the last 3 minutes because it takes an hour. So
That's like football.
it's easy. I know. It's all.
I love football. I could talk football all day.
The golf debate right now, by the way, the whole pace of play thing. I don't think it's a big deal.
For golf?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I don't care that a PGA Tour round takes 5.5 hours.
You're nuts.
I don't care.
Because you're a golf nerd.
But here's the thing. You want to know what made Torrey Pines suck last week? It was not that it was 5.5 hours. It was 5.5 hours of a leaderboard that nobody wanted to watch because everybody
fair.
backed out.
Yeah.
Like there were so many withdrawals because they have to play Torrey again in 2 weeks. So everybody was like,
Oh,
yeah, we're not going to do that. So they just backed out. 2, the broadcast sucks. There's 40 minutes of golf watched in a 5.5 hour broadcast. And you only get to see 6 guys hit the ball. Lame.
Yeah.
That's if you made a better broadcast, I don't think the pace of play issue would be so apparent in everybody's minds. They're all worried about it because they see a shot clock in whatever TGL and pretty much every other sport. My argument's always been yeah, but the expectation of that sport is there's a shot clock.
Yeah.
There's a shot clock in basketball when you're in middle school. There's a shot clock.
That's true.
There's a play clock in football when you're in middle school. You can't just I don't know. It's a heavy debate, but I don't think it's a big deal personally. I don't.
Pace of play?
Yeah, I think it's a big deal in our world.
Our world, real golf.
Walking out to play golf and it that being 5.5 hours, absolutely not. But I'm not winning $6 million. So
I still don't think it should take them.
I think it could be shortened, 100%.
Well, then.
I think 5 hours.
And then they did it with
tops.
baseball.
Yeah, but look what happens to arms.
Yeah.
Look at all the guys getting hurt.
Do you
now.
watch baseball? Okay.
I was supposed to go to college for baseball.
Okay, so you like hockey and baseball.
Yeah, I don't really watch baseball though. I like going to baseball games. I will actually watch hockey on TV. Hockey and
It's
golf.
exciting.
Hockey and golf are the only
I don't
sports I'll
think
watch
I
on
don't
TV.
remember the last time I watched hockey on TV. Oh, I do. It was when the Blackhawks won last.
Oh, 2015.
Yeah, and that was the last time. It was at
That
a
was
bar.
10 years ago. Tessa.
Yeah. It was.
that was a decade ago. That's okay. I can't remember the last time I watched a basketball game on TV. I was apparently at the Bulls championships, when I was a 2-year-old.
Thank God.
My dad was a big fan.
Oh, I'm stuck.
Yeah. My dad's been taking us to the United Center / Chicago Stadium.
That's why you love that place so much.
Oh, it's all my dad. Yeah, 100%.
No.
Yeah, that's how my
See,
my
look
cousins
at our
got it too.
dads. Mine's dead, but still.
I was gonna ask you about your dad later, but
Oh, were you?
yeah, I was.
You know he's dead.
I
talk
do.
about
Yeah,
it.
I know that. Yeah.
I am
It's not a
president of the
secret,
Dead
yeah.
Dads Club. It's not, I don't let it be known a secret.
Yeah, because you had told me before that like your dad's a giant inspiration for what you're
Yeah,
doing, and like for
all of
you
it,
to,
yeah.
and for you to feel like you should just do what you enjoy and what makes you happy and what
Yeah.
takes care of you mental health wise and emotionally.
Yeah.
All came from your dad encouraging you to go do it.
Exactly.
That's amazing. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure.
Yeah.
So as I said, like growing up, my parents were like, yeah, medical field, like, because it's safe. There's always a job.
Yeah.
Everyone always needs it, which fair. But sometimes I see some of my nursing friends now, and they're like, I can't get a job. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And then they'll go and try to be a TikTok star, and like, haha, tables have
Yeah.
turned.
And then TikTok gets shut down for 12 hours. And everybody freaks out. Yeah.
Exactly. All the goodbyes shit. No, but then one day I took a photo and I showed my dad, and he goes, hey, you could really make money if you sold that to a magazine. And I was like, that's the first time he had ever said anything that like creative could be making money.
Yeah.
And then I was probably in high school when he said that. And then did college, all the things. And so he got sick in 2018 and then passed in 2019. And that like changed me because like although me and my dad fought a lot, I was my father's daughter, like straight up. And like after he passed, I was like, and then the pandemic hit and I was so miserable at my job. I was, not to be dramatic, but crying every week because of just everything that was going on in the world. It was just a scary place, negative, all the things. And I would come home so unhappy. But the thing that was bringing me joy during that time was like, so I was part of a nonprofit organization and I was helping use social media to actually raise money for like
Very cool.
healthcare people and for like people in other countries and using social media as a like to like the fact that I was able to help raise like $20,000 through just social media and stuff like that. Like I was like, holy crap, I think I kind of know what I'm doing. And from then on, like from there, I was able to just learn and teach myself even more to be creative because I was like, I can use what I feel like comes natural to me to make a difference somehow. Sure. And then it kind of snowballed into me hating what I was doing on my day job, which then I would like go in the back room and like edit and stuff on my lunch. And that was like bringing me so much joy and fulfilling me. And I found purpose in that. And then eventually it was like, I would say August of 2020, around the anniversary of my dad's death, I was like, I think I'm gonna quit. And I talked to a few friends in the space who were like, whoa, Tessa, wait. Yeah. Like, don't just, everyone's losing their jobs right now. Like, you still have security. Yeah. And like, and then I was like, you're right. So I was like, okay, Tessa, in the next 2 months, do free shoots, build a website, which doesn't exist anymore, by the way. Because I realized I don't really need it right now. But build a website, like build a clientele, like do all that you can do leading up to the day you leave your job so that you're secure. And I did that. And then October, I think 2nd of 2020 was like my last day at my old job. Yeah. And then the following week, I remember I woke up the first day of like the rest of my life, what it felt like. I was like, what do I do? Yeah. Like, I'm full-time freelance. And I woke up at 5 a.m., took my camera, went to like one of the bridges here and took a video of like the sunrise and the skyline. And I was like, this is nice. I felt so happy. Yeah. And it felt liberating. And then from then on, the week after, I had shoot after shoot after shoot, booked, paid. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't making like very little money, but like I was able to build, and it was more of for me to learn. Because I feel like you can't learn like how to, like, especially because I didn't go to school for photography and videography. It was all self-taught, and the only way to do that is to practice, and it allowed me to do that. So shout out to all my like clients that like just decided to book with me because you guys really taught me how to do what I do now. So, yeah.
No, it's amazing. I mean, it's interesting to talk to other people who are creatives and not. Again, I have a very big separation between influencers and creatives. I think that there are some influencers that do a really good job of like making sure that they edit their work and they do, they post a video that they're proud of, whatever the case may be. But it's funny because like I sat at PGA show, we were going over to some booth, I don't know, we came and picked you up, and you're like, I got to do this video just really quick. And I sat there and I watched you edit a video that I could not have made. And you edited it on your phone. And then it was posted. And I was like, that's wild. Oh,
the one of Eric Lang?
Yeah. I was like, that's crazy. Because the speed at which you did that, first off, means that there's a high level of skill, of knowledge of what you're doing in the first place. Because to do anything fast, you have to be really good at it. Yeah. Right? Like, that's just something we all know. That's where, like, with my stuff, it's great because I can do talking head stuff. Yeah. And I don't care if it takes me 30 minutes to film a 90-second clip. Doesn't matter to me. But the speed at which I get it done once that's filmed is, I mean, it takes me shorter time to edit and post than it does to film the whole thing usually, because we have our formulas and we know what we're doing and we have our idea of like what our work looks like, right? And it's so easy to get kind of zoned into that when I watched you do that at the booth, I was like, damn, like I think I'm going to purposely get myself to make content on my phone at least like once every couple weeks just to get better at it. Because if you told me to edit something on my phone right now, CapCut, the new Instagram edits thing, or like the Premiere Rush even on the phone, I would sit here for an hour. And if you were here, I'd be like, hey, Tessa, how do I? Hey, how do I? But you can do it. Like, you can go back to your computer and edit using Premiere Suite. But you can also just do it. Like, again, I watched you do it on your phone. And then it was posted. I'm like, is that the video she just... And Patrick was like, yep. I was like, oh, shit. Like, I couldn't have... Not a chance. I would have had to bust out my laptop, export it.
It was like to promote a certain event that was happening that in like 2 hours. So I was like, oh, this needs to go up.
It had to go up immediately, But like... there was like transitions and cuts and like stuff, and I was like, I don't even know you could do that with your phone. So I'm now on a not like vengeance, but like I really want to be able to do that. Yeah. Because I think that will help.
Try to be efficient around here. Yeah.
No, it was fantastic. But it just goes to show like you also do have a very clear style for what you do, right? Like we all fall into habits of like how we like our stuff to look and some stuff that carries over in like a frequency of use of whether it's a certain type of shot, a certain type of angle, or just the equipment that we use. Like there's some people that are very wide angle heavy. There's a lot of people that go like full telephoto, very shallow depth on everything they shoot. But it comes together, and as you start to develop that, that's when you get people that a lot of times they're reaching out without even knowing who the person is because they like the look. Like they just want that look to be applied to their brand. And then you get the benefit of being able to work with the person too, which is great. Like, I think that for you and the people that I've seen you work with, you've also set a pretty, I don't know what the right word is, but like, I would call it a high expectation, right? Like you did all this stuff with Tish, which we'll talk about in a second, but the brands that have reached out to you are not, there's no nice way to put it. Like, they're not janky brands. Yeah. Like, we're sitting here next to a Tessa POV Vessel bag. Right? Like, Vessel reaching out and being like, hey, we like what you do. We like that look. We want you to apply it to our brand as the most luxury bag brand that exists that is at a cost of zero disregard, right? Like, they're like, no, you're paying for our bags or you're not. We don't care. So, again, that just goes to show what you've done with your platform, what you've done with your work, because it's not you saying, hey, look, I got a Vessel bag, buy it. Like, you're creating stuff that Vessel is using to tell other people to buy their stuff. Yeah. Which is cool. And again, that's the differentiator between, I'm starting to lose it a little bit because I put my face on all my stuff, but between what we do as creators and producers versus influencers, I think. Like, that's where I kind of draw the line of like, are people paying you to say something?
I like to call myself not an influencer, but influential.
Very influential.
Yeah.
No, that's a great way to put it.
Hopefully it relays. But yeah, for example, like Vessel, like it started with working with a person to then them being like, holy crap, like we love how you shot that.
Yeah.
And all that. And that was like never forward facing. And then nice photos of the bags. It's so nice. Like my friends that like know I filmed or shot something and then it's an ad that they got. And I'm like, yeah, I did that.
Yeah, it's always great.
So it was almost like a pinch me moment because it's like going back to like my dad and being like, hey, you can sell this
100%,
and use that as a marketing thing. Like it was literally like the feeling I felt. I'm like, that's cool. I produced that. Like I'm a one-man band, which I'm trying to not be anymore because I'm learning as I grow that like I can't do this all on my own. Losing sleep for deliverables is not healthy for anyone.
No.
But I do it because like work is work, you know, like for example, at PGA show, like I had a turnaround time of like
quick
that day, you know, and I had like a bunch of networking events that I had thought I was gonna able to go to, and I had to, like, for one of them was like going to Top Golf, and I went there. I said, luckily it was only 2 minutes from where I was, but I went there. I said hi to people, and then I got a call from the client and was like, "Hey, we have a few edits," and I was like, "Okay," and they're like, "Holy crap!" Like I knew him. He's like, "Oh my god, like, are you out right now?" I'm like, it's fine, dude. He's like, I'll make it up to you. I was like, no. Like, I'm here for work. Like, that's just my mentality.
Yeah,
like,
of course. Yeah.
Play will be pad. Trust me. I will always have fun. But, you know, like, I need to make sure that, like, I'm showing up for people that brought me out here. And that's just how I work.
Well, it also, too, I mean, I've had a lot of questions. So I used to work at Club Champion for 2 years, which is a big club I did all their content. I did some web work for them too, from like a writing standpoint, and then I did a lot of the product stuff. And when I left, I had a lot of people were very confused about what I was doing because I had started posting videos like I do now with Made for the Range just on my normal personal account, just to see like does anybody care. And then when I decided I was going to do Made for the Range, and told myself that had to be my full-time gig, like that's how I had to make my money. It was, the conversations were actually a little bit difficult because I was trying to tell people like, I'm going to do this as a personality and I'm going to be in these, I'm going to talk about the stuff, but also like part of my contract with everybody that I work with is I make them stuff that they post that nobody will ever know I made unless I tell them. Like unless I send that video to somebody, I'm like, hey, guess what? I did this. I'm like, they will post it on their accounts and they'll use it for their advertising. And people they can't quite wrap their heads around that when I say it. Like, they don't understand it. Because I do get some messages all the time, and it's like, you know, how did you start this? How are you making any money from this? Why do they send you clubs? And it's like, well, because they're sending me because they paid for something else.
Yeah.
I get the benefit of I can do this now because I have them in my hand. And that's what Made for the Range was when it started. Now, luckily, it's kind of getting to the point where it's, because I always used to tell people at the beginning, there was 100% reliance and I needed them. It's getting to a point where that's gonna flip, where my follower base and my audience will be something that I can sell instead of using what I'm doing to grow that, right? And I can't wait for that to flip, not because I'm worried about like how Made for the Range makes money or how I make money. I have fantastic partners, and I don't think that, you know, most of my partners, I don't think they're going to go anywhere for the rest of the time I do this because it's all still agnostic. Like, I don't work just because Mitsubishi sponsors my golf shafts doesn't mean that I won't do graphic design content or KBS content or whatever the case may be. And they all know that, and they're all okay with that. And nobody's ever pressured me to not be. But it's such an interesting conversation because the message of just like, why did they send you that?
Yeah.
Like, well, first off, why do you care?
Or the worst is like, hey, can you have them send me stuff?
Can you send me? I'm like, yeah. No.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Well, I get a lot of those because it's like, or I also get a lot of like, well, you know, I'll get all 4 Cobra drivers, for example. They're right there. I'll get
Team Cobra.
Right. I'll get all 4 Cobra drivers. Cobra's amazing. And I'll say like, okay, I'm going to play the 10.5 OS. Right away, messages are like, oh, well, you don't need the X then, right? Can you send it to me? Like, first off, I don't know you. Secondly, no.
Yeah.
No,
I
that's
know.
not how this works.
Yeah.
And Cobra would be pissed if I did that.
Yeah.
Like, that's the other thing. And I know other people that they'll get stuff in from companies and then they sell it.
Yeah,
And I'm like, you can't.
Yeah? Who?
No, I'm not. You know them. But I'm not doing that.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
I'll tell you.
I think you could guess pretty quickly. But no, it's just one of those things of like, you can't. They'd be pissed if they found that out.
Yeah.
And
No, it's
I
wrong.
also, like, I'm
I
a
would
big
never
believer.
sell the 8 vessel
Vessel
bags
bags,
I
yeah,
own.
yeah.
No.
Now, like, I'll give stuff to my brother-in-law,
Yeah,
my
I
dad.
give away for
If
to
my
friends.
sister asked me for stuff, I would. Like, I have
Yeah.
very close friends that I'll be like, yeah, I don't need this. And I always tell them, like, look, if for some reason the company that gave that to me asks me for some random video with it, I'm just gonna need to borrow it for a couple days, and then you
Yeah.
can have it right back. But most of the stuff just sits on my shelves in my garage because I'm a golf hoarder.
Yeah.
But I like it.
Same.
It's great. I love having boxes full of stuff all over the place. Organized though.
I need to organize
very
mine.
organized.
I'll wait till the summer though.
No, my
That's
garage
what I
is
said last summer,
awesome.
and then
Yeah.
I still haven't. So
No, it's been super great. So how did you get into the first golf account then? And then like, let's get into the Tish side of this. You're now Miss Golf Girl.
I would say one of the first ones that hit me up was Pinned Golf,
Like the rangefinder?
the rangefinder, and I think that was like a connection from someone else, which it's always word of mouth, right? And
Always.
and I was like, oh, like you want to send me a rangefinder and then like give me a code? I was like, who am I to use? And
Influential.
I am influential. I
there
was
you
getting
go.
like randomly, I would get like money deposited in my account. I'm like, who's sending me money?
Oh, it was from your code?
It was from my code.
That's
I was like,
amazing.
oh snap! And
Yeah.
so that was also like a little pinch me moment. Also, rangefinders are pricey, and so I never had one. And then
Yeah.
I got that sent, and then like from then on, I was like, and then when I was actually starting to promote it, it was never, hey guys, like
Yeah.
buy this because I like it.
Yeah.
No, it was more like, how do I make this, film this and be creative? I think I did an ASMR unboxing. That was like a quick thing with
Yeah.
pretty nails. My nail appointments are now business expenses.
There you go, yeah.
But it went from there, and the way I like to kind of promote product is never again forward facing. It's always,
Yeah.
how do I make this a creative piece? You know?
Yeah, your stuff is very integrated in a piece of content. Not necessarily that the piece of content is 100% about that thing.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
for you, like I've seen some of the pin stuff, and it was more of like just using it on course and getting pretty natural looking shots of like,
Yeah.
in that moment somebody would be using a rangefinder, so why not use the one that I'm promoting? Like that kind of mindset of
Yeah.
like just placing it instead of focusing on it, which is fantastic.
Which, like, I've learned, people don't like to be sold. Like, don't sell things to people.
No.
You're not gonna make money. No. Unless you're Paige.
True. Paige
She can sell me
anything.
a leaf that
Paige could sell anything.
probably, she just has to put it right there. I'm like, I want that.
Yeah. Which she knows. Yeah.
Which she does.
She's very aware of.
Respect to her.
Yeah. No, she's
Do your thing, girl.
Yeah,
Get
Paige
your
is
coin.
great. I filmed 3. I think 3.
Oh, which,
yeah.
by the way, did you win your bet? Did she remember you?
Oh, 100%. Gave me a
Hell
hug right away.
yeah.
As soon as I saw her, gave me a hug.
You're so far. That's
It's
fine.
okay.
You know.
Yeah, she gave me a big hug as soon as we walked in there. Have I told you the story of what happened that night?
With Paige?
Yeah. No, at the swag booth.
No.
Oh my gosh, I will tell you about that later because it's too egotistical for the podcast.
Okay.
But I gotta tell you,
Okay.
big head after that.
Yeah?
My head was gigantic
Love.
after that. Long story short, I was at Cobra, texted you, hey, I'm going to pick you up, and then you ended up not being able to come.
Yeah.
But from where we picked you up to by the time we got in the swag booth, I had like a train of famous people with me, and then I got to pull the whole like my name's on the list thing.
Yeah. Love
Giant head. And it was 2 people I had never met before.
Hey, you deserve that because I know like how much effort you put into building relationships with people. So
I appreciate that.
It's not just like a name dropper thing. It's
Yeah.
literally like I've fostered these naturally, you know.
Yeah, well, and it was really cool because it was 2 people I had never met before. They were connected to the other people that I was bringing.
Love.
And then it was like, and then the I'll tell you the whole story later. But the one of them, like, we got in and we're talking, like, Paige there, obviously, and they got introduced to Paige and stuff like that. And the one girl was like, who are you? And because Patrick had asked, Patrick had brought it up too, of like at PGA show. So I put a big thing on my Instagram stories about like all the people I met at PGA show and the people I got to spend time with, and then like checking in with you and then checking in with others and like just talking to all these people. And then I ended up bringing a lot of people to other people, which I love to do. I think that's just fun.
Great.
But I didn't do anything at the actual show. Like, I filmed one video with Chris Fischall.
You did stuff with...
And I did a Foresight thing.
Yeah, the Foresight. Yeah, I saw
because that was an announcement I needed to make. That was it. Like, I didn't look at another club. I didn't hit another club.
Nice.
I did nothing. I talked to people.
Yeah.
And I brought people from one person to another the entire time. And I loved every minute. I will go next year, and I will actually stay longer next year.
No, you're really good at that. I
appreciate it.
I'm not. Actually, no, I did it. I did do that.
Yeah.
There's like a follower of mine, and I think we've exchanged a few DMs, but really nice dude. And he went up to me, he was like, hey, you're Tessa POV. I was like, when people greet me like that, I don't know how to act. But, and then we spoke a little bit, and then he was talking about how he has a son that he's trying to get into golf. And I was like, hey, my friend actually owns this golf company for kids. Let me introduce you. And he was like right there. And
at Lightyear?
Yes, Lightyear.
That stuff's so cool. Yeah.
And he gave him a putter for his son. And
oh, no way.
Like,
and that was all because of you.
Yeah. So
yeah. No, it's amazing.
I'm trying.
So at
no
demo day.
Here.
Yeah, at demo day.
Yeah.
We're walking, and I like V-lined it to the Mizuno booth because I thought that the guy that I was going to go see was gone, which he was. But we passed this couple, and I just hear, like, hey, can I grab a photo? I just keep walking, right?
Yeah.
Like, whatever. Patrick looks at me and goes, hey, idiot. He was asking you. I'm like, wait a second. Hold on. I was like, what are you talking about? And the guy had stopped with his girlfriend or wife or whoever it was. And he was like, yeah, like, I've been following you for a long time. He's like, I bought the stuff in my bag because of your videos.
Oh my God.
And I was
so
like,
neat.
oh my God, that's amazing. Yeah. And then Patrick was like, yeah, dude, like, he was asking you. I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And then it happened a couple times on the show floor where I just like stopped and talked to people. That was weird. Very weird.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was also very...
you're doing something right moment.
Yeah, right? Like, it was one of those things of like, okay. And I told Patrick this afterwards, like, not to get emotional about it, but like, I've had an issue of like, you know, proving that what I'm doing in the golf industry has a place or matters or like has any value.
Yeah.
For, you know, like, obviously it does a little bit. Like, people pay me to make stuff. Like, that's
does.
great. But it was a cool couple days to realize that like what I was doing has some sort of impact in the sport.
Yeah.
And it's not gigantic by any means, but like the fact that anybody came up and recognized me was really, really cool. And the fact that that guy had told me that like he bought the stuff in his bag and he likes it and it works just because he watched my videos, he took what I said, he went in, he tested clubs himself. And then bought stuff that worked was the entire purpose of Made for the Range. Yeah. Right? Like, my thing has always been, I came from a fitting background. So my thing was like, okay, well, fittings are expensive. And fittings are like kind of gatekeepish. Where the information, like, they don't want to give you the information unless you go in and get get paid to go do a fitting. Yeah. That information is not super readily available for other people. When you talk about like, we were talking about earlier, right? What do all those numbers mean? When those numbers change, what does that mean is a bigger deal. And that was always the point of Made for the Range. Is like, I wanted to help the guy that's just going to buy a club in Dick's Sporting Goods buy the right club for two reasons. One, it's not fair to club companies when you buy a club that was never going to work for you and then you bitch about it on the internet.
Yeah, that's true.
And two, it'll help you play better golf. So like, win-win. Yeah. Which we're, you know, and they can't just look pretty. Yeah. I mean, they can do both. They can look pretty and play well. All right, so then let's talk about Tish just a little bit, if that's okay. So you have a really good relationship with Tish.
Yeah, we're childhood friends.
How did that turn into a working relationship? And how did that influence what you're kind of doing now?
Yeah. No, I've been so blessed to have like the way working with your best friend and all that can always end poorly.
Yeah, 100%, yeah.
But yeah, no, Tish and I have been friends since we were 11 or 12, and then she moved away to California to pursue golf, but we kept in touch through like MySpace. And
Yeah.
for you kids that don't know what that is, it's before Facebook.
Yeah.
and then Facebook and all this social media, it's always just a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
But she always knew I was a creative person, and some stuff she was posting on social media, she would ask me advice on or ask me help on. And so then eventually she was like, hey, if I send you videos, like, could you edit them? I'll pay you this and that. And I was like, sure.
Yeah.
And then from then on, like, that's actually how I started to learn golf, because she was sending me like golf vlogs to edit. And I would be like, what's the score on this hole?
Yeah.
Or like, how do I do a scorecard? My dad tried to get me into golf. I was not like, I thought it was boring old man sport to me. And so then I would learn through her, and then from golf vlogs to then instructional videos, and she's like, do this and that. And then that's actually how I started to learn. I learned how to golf by editing and golf instructional videos.
That's awesome.
First. Yeah. And then, because then I started to film myself. I knew what to look for, and then I would send it to her and send it to like golf pros I knew, and then they would kind of be able to virtually tweak my swing. And then from then on, it spiraled to, I left my job, and she's like, every other month, she's like, hey, I'll fly you out, pay you, let's get backlog content.
Yeah.
From then full time, like traveling with her to like these events. And I've been so like lucky and grateful to like be able to like kind of expand my network through that way. Like that was never the goal, right?
Yeah.
The goal was, how do I like use my creativeness to like enhance someone else, like and what they do. And then you start to see the same faces over and over and at these golf events.
Yeah.
And then, I would start taking photos on my own for my own portfolio and tagging brands or players and be like, oh my God, I love that picture. Send it to me.
Yeah, super
to
fun.
then the next event, they recognized me, and the relationships naturally started building that way while I was still working and doing things for Tish.
Yeah.
And then from then on, like people just wanted to just go directly to me to work with me on things. So, all full circle moments. And then now I'm able to build on my own network, because I've had this portfolio of things that I've done the last 5 years in golf to back it.
Oh, that's amazing. And I mean, like I said, the work you do is
Thank you.
fantastic. And it's like, I like it so much, and I'm fascinated by it so much just because it's the stuff that I'm bad at. Like that hype reel stuff where like you can integrate a product, or like the event coverage stuff you do. The event coverage stuff is always phenomenal too, because you have a way of capturing an event in 45 seconds or whatever it has to be.
Yeah.
That is so sequential is not the right word, but like you get the entire vibe of the event out of your 45-second video or whatever it is, which is crazy, because you're filming for hours and hours and hours and hours, sometimes days for events, and to edit that down and to show people the actual experience of what that was
I
in a
want
proper
people to
way.
feel things. Like it's so cheesy to say, but like, how can I make you not even just FOMO, because obviously that's social media is meant to make people feel FOMO,
That's it.
right?
Yeah, that is social media.
But it's more like, dang, like I feel like I was there kind of thing, or I was able to experience that through 30 seconds of whatever you just shot, and like if I can get some emotion out of people when they watch something I make, like that's the goal.
Yeah, absolutely.
And hype reels, like I have a love-hate relationship with hype reels, and I just so happen to be good at making
You're
them.
just really good at it, yeah.
But sometimes I'm like, oh, I hate this. But that's like all of our work, right? Like there's ebbs and flows. And
There's going to be a lot of stuff we like and a lot of stuff we don't like, and we just got to still post it or send it, whatever the case is. Especially when client work, it's like, I wouldn't have done it that way, but if that's what you like.
Yeah. And I love, like, for example, I just work with Uneekor at the PGA show, and like they let me have full creative freedom. Yeah. Like I was working with their creative manager.
Yeah. And you were hustling all 2 days that we were there. Like you were freaking going.
Thank you. But they were like, do your thing. And there was a few things that they wanted to obviously capture, and I was like, yeah, let me know, like, if you have a specific shot list I can go off of, but like, I'm gonna put together what I think will look good. And the first video, I will say, when I sent it, I was like, honestly, I kind of hate this, but if they like it, cool.
Yeah.
They also hated it. Yeah, and it showed.
Which is like kind of like, oh, I'm sorry, but also like, thank you for acknowledging that I also didn't like it. Yeah.
I knew that. So like they were like, just do minor tweaks. I literally started from scratch.
Yeah.
Like
minor tweaks,
sent
no,
it,
0. Yeah.
went to Topgolf. They had a tweak. I just sent them a brand new freaking video that, because I had already gone through all the long part is going through the 8 hours of footage I just shot.
Yeah, that you gotta cut down.
Because I knew what clips I was going to use already. That only took me an hour to put together the brand new clip.
Do you edit in your head while you shoot?
Yes.
Yeah, I do. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the only way I know how to do it.
It comes, and then like, for example, like there are like, I'm saying like too much. There are some scenes or specific clips that are not it's not happening naturally, but I see it and I'm like, I need to incorporate this in the video. Like there was a golf ball that said Uneekor on it. They had a little pad that was patch of grass and sand. I put the golf ball in the middle and I was like doing like quick B-roll of it, and people were walking around looking at me like, what is this girl doing? And then I put it in the video process. And then they were like, holy crap, that's what you were doing the whole time. I actually know exactly
what shot you're talking about.
Yeah. And I was like, I needed to like have, it can't just be of people talking, or it can't just be of the simulator. Like people have seen that, but how can I get you to keep watching? Let me put in some cool shots. So that's just how my brain works. I don't know. I see it and I'm like, I see the vision.
This. Yeah. Like
I'll get this shot. Or like I had someone be like, I'm like, hey, one of their workers, I'm like, can you just drop these business cards on this grass for me? They're like, what? I'm like, just do it.
Just
I'm
you? Yeah.
And then I did it. And then I put it in one of the clips that like, that's what you were doing.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah. You like, trust the mind. Yeah.
And when again, going back on that, like when a brand or a company trusts like me fully, I can make magic. It's when I get put in a box and it's like, no, this and that. And I'm like, you should have said that from the beginning, one. And two, I'm like, because then you don't actually want to work with me. And
well, and that's the thing, right? It's like, you saw my work, you hired me because you liked my work and you liked my look and you liked how I did things, and you wanted your brand to take advantage of that vibe. But then you're telling me to change the vibe.
Yeah.
It's like, wait.
I don't want to put my name on this.
Yeah. Well, have you ever sent something and you're like, don't tag me?
Yes.
Me too. Yeah. I've sent stuff and I'm like, if you're happy, I'm happy.
I don't even say don't tag me. I'm
me.
just like, you don't have to.
Yeah. Like, no need to tag. Don't worry. I don't need.
I rarely have to do that, or I rarely do that because I've been lucky enough to like work with people that like they have given me.
They want you for what you're doing and for what you're good at. Yeah. And they don't want to change it because they know that they hired you for that purpose. Yeah. 2 stories I want to talk about. 1, you met Tiger Woods. Go. What's the story with Tiger? I've heard it, but it's actually a pretty funny story.
Oh, that moment.
Yeah.
Yes. I was like, when?
The first time.
Yes, in Vegas. So we were there to shoot his foundation that Tiger. It's
TGL.
It's TGL. What the?
It's actually not. It's
No, it isn't it.
It's Tiger Woods Foundation. It's Tiger Woods. It's TW.
It's
something.
Hold on, I forget. Okay, so we were there to shoot because he was doing a like a scramble thing for people that have contributed to his foundation, and it was for a scholarship. So it was a whole event in Vegas at Shadow Creek. Stunning course.
Beautiful.
Holy crap. Almost got hit a few times out there, but
wait, hit by
balls.
Oh, okay. I was like, hit by cars, hit by fists.
Yeah, I was like, hello, Yell 4. I actually have a video of that too. But we were out there, and it was he and Colin Morikawa, because Colin lives in Vegas. They did like a fun range thing. And afterwards, Tisha had to do an interview of the two of them. And at this time, it was 2022.
Okay.
And COVID kind of was like gone, but still like strict on stuff. And so there was like maybe 10 people there, and they were just about to film or just got finished filming their piece. And Tiger's sitting there resting on a chair. And I was like, Tessa, if you don't ask for a photo or like meet him at this very moment in this intimate setting, you will never have this moment again.
Correct.
And he's a very, very hard person to be alone with and or like be in an intimate setting with. And so he's sitting there, and I was like, doo with my camera, and he had seen me already, and he goes, hi. And I was like, hi. I think I said Mr. Tiger. I don't know.
Mr. Tiger.
Hi, Mr. Tiger. No, but I was like,
Eldrick.
hi. Do you mind? Can I grab a photo with you? And I was like, I don't think I'll ever have this moment again. And then he looked up at me. He's like, oh my God, of course. And he, like, this is post-accident.
Yeah.
And he was kind of struggling to get up. And I was like, oh, no. Like, I'll just stand next to you. It's okay. He goes, no, I will get up for you. And I was like,
yeah.
You're not as mean as everyone says you are.
Yeah.
No, I didn't say that. But I was like, little old me, okay, sure. He stands up, like kind of pushes himself up, takes a photo. And after I thought he was just going to sit back down. No, shook my hand, asked me for my name, asked me what I do. Like we maybe had like, I blacked out. But I think we had like a 6-minute conversation.
Yeah, I think we all would in that moment.
Yeah. And I was like, like it was also another pinch moment for me. And in my head, I'm like, this was more, it was a feeling of like, I really felt like, I thought of my dad at that moment, because like, I didn't mention this yet, but my dad was a big golfer and loved golf. We lived in a neighborhood that had a golf course, and I found out after he passed that he would actually be there once a week. And my mom was pissed. But he would golf all the time, and it was more of like a damn dad, like I wish you were around to see me and Tiger and tell you I met Tiger and had this moment with him. And so, but it was great, and it was nice.
Yeah, I feel that way with my grandpa too.
I wanted to print out that picture and put out my bedside table.
Yeah, did you?
No.
Why?
No, I didn't.
Dude, I would have.
I should.
You kidding me? Yeah. I would. Yeah, I feel it with my grandpa, though. Like, there's... Everything I'm doing now would be just so cool to talk to him about and show him.
Yeah. You have people in
I don't
our
think
lives
he would have understood it at all.
Oh,
You're making videos? Like, he would have been like, you're doing what?
Yeah.
But it would have been cool, because, I didn't... So my relationship with my grandpa became what I consider it now, but it was very late for both of us. This is only probably 4 years ago. It started 5 years ago now. It started getting really good. And it was only a couple years after we had gotten much closer that he passed away. And it was right before I started doing this stuff. And it was just one of those moments of this just would have been really damn cool if my grandpa
always
if I could talk to him about it, I also my grandpa used to live in Florida. The first time I played golf in Florida, made my hole-in-one, my only hole-in-one.
You made a hole. I just got the chills.
I FaceTimed my cousin and was sobbing because of my grandpa. Because I was like, this is not it's not a coincidence that the first time I'm golfing in Florida is when it happens. But yeah, so I understand that, the connection to your dad, and it's cool, right? It's nice to have it now, but it's just, I do wish we could have had it for even a little bit of time when it was there, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I didn't even swing a club until really after, so.
Yeah, I only got to play golf with my grandpa once.
Oh, okay.
Which was...
I played Topgolf with my dad, and we got in a fight. And I said, see, this is why I don't freaking golf, Dad. Yeah. He's like, look at the ball. And at this point, I was already starting to learn a little bit about golf.
Yeah.
I'm like, I am looking at the ball.
Yeah. No. So...
I would love to play around with my dad now, though.
Yeah. I would give a lot to play with my grandpa right now. 100%. Okay. Person number 2. My favorite golfer of all time. Always will be. Can't wait for the day I get to do something with him. Jason Day.
Oh.
You got to spend time with Jason Day. I'm so jealous.
I love Jason.
He's so great.
He is exactly who he is, probably in your brain, in real life.
Did I tell you my John Deere Classic story at the food tent? Did I ever told you this?
No.
So we're at the John Deere Classic. I was on the range hanging out with like a couple of the reps and stuff. And we go eat lunch, which is like under a tent. It's like not a buffet thing, but like you go up and they give you like a hot dog or whatever, you know. And I'm like struggling. I have a camera in my armpit, my plate in the sand, and I had to put the lid back on like where the hot dogs were in, the whatever you call those things.
So you were that guy.
Yeah. And I'm like struggling, about to drop this lid, and the person behind me is like, "Hey, I got that. Don't worry about it." I'm like, "Oh, thank you so much." Didn't even look. And then I go, "Shit, that's Jason Day." I was like,
so he said, "I got that for you."
Yes, that's pretty much exactly. Yeah, and I was like, "That's
that was
Jason
a more
Day."
British accent,
Yeah, I'm like, "Oh my god," and I was very awkward about it. I'm not gonna lie. Didn't talk to him like should have, could have. He sat down literally by himself, like waiting for his caddy, and I could have just been like, "Hey, mind if I take your seat?
Oh my
You wanna chat?"
gosh.
Yeah, I got super nervous about
Yeah,
it.
I get it. We never want to bother people.
Yeah. So, what was your Jason Day experience?
I manifested that.
How?
Like, because you gotta just see it and be until you are it. Be it, all the things. No. So he is also one of my favorite players, mostly because he's half Filipino.
That helps.
Well, that's how it started, and then like I'm just like he's great.
Yeah.
He's fun to watch. And I have a lot of friends, mutual friends with him in the golf space, but I'm like, why have I still not have met him through them?
Yeah.
And then last year, Tisha played in the Farmers Insurance Pro-Am, and leading up to it, and I literally was like, I am manifesting. I see it, and we're gonna spend the day with Jason Day, and he's gonna be in our group, and I felt it. I was just like, I know this is gonna happen. And,
so jealous.
And then 2 days before flying out to San Diego, we get a group text, and they're like, Jason Day's in your group. And I was like,
you did it.
I knew it.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're joking. I like was freaking out, and I was like, I knew this was going to happen. And so anyway, fast forward to the Pro-Am, just like talking with him. Like I had luckily we like have people in the golf space in common. So kind of talking about them and like all this stuff in the space. And he was just so sweet and just great to just have a conversation with. Nice guy. And actually because of that moment, I was able to, not that I didn't already know the Malbins, but build a bigger relationship because of the photos I took of Jason that day. And they like used it for social media, all the things. And from then on, it like helped kind of generate a relationship on my own with Malbins, and they send me stuff all the time and able to do work with them now. But and then fast forward to the Open last summer in Scotland, which I'll never go back. But I saw him on the range, and it was the relationship and was so organic that we were able to like get an interview out of it and a content piece with him because of that relationship from the Farmers Insurance.
Yeah,
and
that's when I noticed
he remembered me, and then I was like, this is cool.
That's when I had noticed it, was when you were at the Open and you posted that, and I was like,
yeah.
Like, you're kidding me, she's with Jason? I'm like, I'm so jealous. All right, so we can start to wrap up here because the guys that came in chose the bay that's closest to us to make all the noise. What are you looking to do now? You're in a slightly different outlook now. You're picking up a lot more business for yourself.
Yeah.
So what are give us your 2025 goals, and then maybe a quick, what's your 3-year? Where are you going?
I don't even know what I'm doing next week. Oh, yes, I do. It's waste management.
Yeah.
But
oh, jeez, yeah.
You should interview me after that.
I should, we'll do a Zoom Wednesday night of
right.
of waste management.
Let me tell you what happened last night.
Yeah.
No,
talk about
this year, my goal right now, and I'm in the works of it, but I really want to start building out a team. Just shooters and editors in this space that really, because I was lucky enough to right place, right time, right people.
Yeah,
and
100%. Yeah.
I want to I don't like when people gatekeep, and I want to give
Yeah.
other people opportunities, especially because I know this is a very saturated market now. And if I can bring people to events and start growing a team and a roster of like photographers and videographers and
Yeah.
editors, like to help them grow and help them build their network, as I've been able to do on with what I do. And so start building a team, start like working with new people that like bring them to events, help with events, because I'm really learning that I can't do this all on my own anymore. And it's really great to like be able to start doing that now and realizing that people really actually want to work with me. It's like I made a post because I need a second shooter for an event at Waste Management, and like I thought I was gonna get like 2 inquiries, like
No.
inbox,
Yeah.
so many things, and I was like, oh, this is nice, like I can like help people and people want to work together and all that. And so and then also like start marketing myself to like more, hopefully beyond golf, but right now golf is the focus just because it's my portfolio. And start working with more brands and if like golf events to like show them that, hey, like you really got to leverage social media, you really got to hire like quality shooters and creatives to help market whatever you're doing better, and help them believe in that, because I know a lot of these brands, like I know y'all got the freaking budget, like let's work together.
There's gonna be some stuff that I already know I'm gonna reach out and ask you to do.
You know where to find
for me, so I'm excited about that. No, I think again, and this is the story for a lot of the people I talked to at PGA show, that I ended up like connecting with other people. There's some of these girls have hundreds of thousands of followers. Or like Landon has over 1 million. And they were like talking to me about how to talk to the brands and like the club, and I'm like, I was like, just walk up and be like, here's my Instagram. Like I'm getting the attention at 9,700 or whatever it is. I was like, you're at 470,000. Like, what are you doing? What are you talking about? So that part of it's cool, but none of you give your guys, like, you don't give yourself enough credit. You don't give, like, we were talking earlier. I was like, do you realize that your inbox is full because of something that you built? Like, it's not just, these aren't, now, granted, some of them are probably just trying to take advantage of a situation. Sure. But you have a full inbox of people that want to work with you and that want an opportunity to do that stuff because of the thing that you've built, right? And you had a little bit of help. You have good friends. You have good personality. You have great work, right? But like all of that factors into you still had to do it. And you still had to build it as a whole
sometimes
unit.
I regret.
But like you got to give yourself the credit there.
It's hard because like when you feel like all these puzzle pieces, helped you out and stuff. It's really sometimes like hard. I don't even call it humble. People call it humble, but like it's, I'm not a one to like kind of give my own self praise. Well, it's awkward.
And a lot of times, I mean, like the couple times we've talked, you also give a lot of your credit away. Like I've seen you do that a couple times where you're like, well, I only did that because of blah, blah. Like, no. You still did it.
Thank you.
And eventually, like, there was a couple puzzle pieces that you still connected, and you still made it this thing. Like, you can't have somebody helping you does not take away your credit to build the thing that you built, right?
Thank you.
I've had to learn that too. You do a very good job of giving people praise and thanking people and being grateful for the help that you've been given. But again, none of that takes away the fact that like you should be able to stand there and say like, I built this. Like, I did this.
I appreciate that.
I took puzzle pieces and made the final version of what this is, or the final version of what it's going to be. Like, every time one of us builds a puzzle, we always realize that we actually only built 25% of the puzzle. That happens to me a lot. But no, I don't like that. And that was one of the biggest things I did at PGA show, actually, was like glazing people up, basically. Of like, hey, like, give yourself more credit of what you did. Like, I talked to so many people, and there was new connections that came up, and I'm like, I don't understand how you can feel this way with 500,000 followers. Like, what are you talking about? So I'm very excited to see what you do this year, because I think I think you have a little bit more freedom this year, which is super cool. But but I also can't wait to see what that becomes, because we've talked about the fact that like you do want to do stuff that might be outside of golf, or you do want to work with different people or in different like little environments. I think that we already talked about a couple other companies that I think you would be great at helping with their events, and I am gonna like push some of those companies for some of that too, because I think the event stuff you do is sick. So yeah, I'm excited for you,
Thank you.
and I appreciate you sitting here and doing this.
Yeah,
and
thanks for
this has
being
been
my
fun.
first ever podcast.
I'm gonna brag about that forever. No,
Yeah.
but this is great, and I really do. Like I said, I love what you do.
Thank
I
you.
know how hard it is to do it the way you do it. Especially as a creative, like we said, if we want to talk about creative versus influencer, especially as a creative, the following you've built, the name you've built for yourself, like most creatives don't do that.
Yeah.
Like their work is on a portfolio Instagram page that has 500 followers, and it's probably the most gorgeous feed you've ever looked at, but nobody follows it, right? So it's hard to build your own presence and your own name doing this
I just
too.
want people to like. I think the difference is that like I put out the piece, the work I get hired for to cover events, but like what gives me joy is like when people like working with me.
Yeah.
Like if I can bring out like a personality or an energy from people because they enjoy working with me, like that, like, you know, that overcomes everything.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. You got anything else you want to say? Anything you want to drop? Any random news? Tea? You want to, start a rumor?
Should I tell you guys what happened with this hoodie? No, I'm just joking.
I was like, what? Okay, you brought it
I'm
up.
kidding. Okay, we gotta go. I think time's up.
Yeah, why does
Next
your hoodie
time,
say golf
have me-
hoodie?
No, it's just my golf hoodie.
This is ridiculous. Okay, you know what?
We got it.
That's it. Cut. Done. All right. No, thank you again for doing this.
Yeah,
I appreciate
of
that.
course.
It was your first one. That's awesome, actually.
Yeah, this was fun.
So,
I didn't know what I was gonna be able to talk. I guess I'm a yapper.
see what I mean, though? I told you. I was like,
Yeah.
10 minutes in, you're not even going to realize that you're
that's true.
on camera, right? And you
That's
did a
great.
great job. It was awesome.
I'm probably gonna hate every moment of how I look, but it's okay.